Hello, welcome everyone. For those of you that I don't know, my name's Adriana, and in today's class, we're going to really work on and absorb our experience of worry and take some time to transmute and transform our worry into fear. Those of you, I'm assuming if you're watching this, are on some sort of, spiritual or just, life path that really puts you in the position of caring more deeply about your own experience of life. And within that, I think we can take on a lot of, what one of my favorite teachers, his name is Matt Kahn, and he talks a lot about the spiritual ego. And so just, we have an ego, right? Our personality. And so when we get into, self-development work, self-care, self-help, and then spirituality, which is really like about our unfoldment, right? The unfoldment of our true and authentic self and magnificence and possibility, this infinite possibility we tune into, but the natural flow of our evolution that is within each human, really caring about that. We can also take on some beliefs about how we should and shouldn't be. We shouldn't be angry. We shouldn't be worried. We shouldn't be this. We shouldn't be that. And it creates a lot of disconnect. Not only within ourselves, it splits us off and cuts us off from parts of ourselves, but also from one another, and then it becomes so challenging to be around somebody like that. Or then what also happens is when we're experiencing that, we really cut ourselves off and then like go into some whole other thing where we're not even really able to be with ourselves in that way. And we kind of self-abandon or self-reject. And so, I really wanted to offer a space where, like in this practice today, where you can really like let yourself be worried for a period of time. Maybe that seems crazy, but like we do it anyway. And so a lot of what I teach in the school that I have, it's called the Power of Love School. We really embrace and open ourselves up to holding it all and to having it all be held ultimately, because it's not just us, but we're developing and strengthening our muscles to connect to the unseen support. Some people connect to angels, some people connect to God as a presence, some people connect to a goddess energy, and some people connect to nature. Some of us connect to all of it. I connect to all of it, or at least I try to, because I could use all the help I can get. And this is my job. So, I love exploring, the essence of every religion has, truth in it. There's a lot of other, stuff that has been put on it that hasn't been useful for many of us. But at its core, I believe every religion has the same true connection to love, to unconditional love, and to that birthright that we have to be embraced as humans in all of our beautiful power and in all of our messy mistakes and missteps, which is what the word sin actually means. So here we are. And even in this moment, you can probably feel the parts of you, maybe they're not activated right now, but if you tune into the collective, you'll sense and feel a sense of like discomfort and worry and grief. I mean, there's, people dying is so much more in our awareness right now, but people are dying all the time also. And when we're tuned into reality, we tune into this state of impermanence, that is something that's very real and something that we all have to face at some point. And so easier said than done, when you lose people you love, there's no turning back from that. There's no remedy for that ultimately, other than to learn how to grieve, which just means finding the places and the ways that you can find comfort, but also express the actually very pure experience of grief that can bring us closer to what is good within us and what is good inside of humanity. So turning worry into prayer sometimes is like a mental shift, right? Sometimes it really is this kind of like, if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks, you can look up Abraham Hicks. There's tons of videos, but it's like this really intense, like what you think is what you create type of work. And I believe in that, and I believe there's many different layers and ways into that. But it's like that, you catch yourself worrying and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm really worried about this person. Let me take a moment and just send a prayer. You can, you don't have to believe in anything in particular to pray. You can just use your own aliveness. Just the fact that you're alive means that you have the right to pray. If you have a breath, that breath is a prayer. It is an affirmation of your life. And so that alone, you can just take a breath, thinking about that person, thinking about the situation. So we're going to do a practice about that. I want to read you a poem, and then we'll do a short practice where we actually do that. So this is a poem by a woman named Jan Richardson. It's called "Beloved is Where We Begin." If you would enter into the wilderness, do not begin without a blessing. Do not leave without hearing who you are. Beloved, named by one who has traveled this path before you. Do not go without letting it echo in your ears, as if you find it is hard to let it into your heart. Do not despair. That is what this journey is for. I cannot promise this blessing will free you from danger, from fear, from hunger or thirst, from the scorching of sun or the fall of the night. But I can tell you that on this path there will be help. I can tell you that on this way there will be rest. I can tell you that you will know the strange graces that come to our aid only on a road such as this, that fly to meet us bearing comfort and strength, that come alongside us for no other cause than to lean themselves toward our ear, and with their curious insistence whisper our name. Beloved, beloved, beloved. So with that, let us close our eyes together. So wherever you are, just find a comfortable seat and let your eyes close. And we'll begin just by connecting into the subtle energy that we're sharing. And you could start to sense and feel and notice the subtle energy in the room that you're in. And if your muscles of, intuitive awareness haven't been strengthened because you haven't practiced this a lot, then you just feel even the temperature in the room. And you imagine the energy in the room that you can't see, but it's like electricity, right? You can't see it, but you know that it has this charge to it, that it has this way of igniting and awakening. This kind of energy that we work with in these practices is kind of like that. And we're going to kind of move through this quickly. So just start to feel and notice any energy of worry or panic or fear, anything. And even just people that maybe that are experiencing that. Maybe you're experiencing this odd sense of calm, and, people in your life, your family or whomever is experiencing a sense of worry naturally. And if you're feeling a lack of worry and that makes you feel worried, then that's totally possible to bring into this moment as well. Or other people that you want to be more concerned about what's going on, that are just ignoring things. That's also, the lack of worry and concern, because we're not trying to demonize the worry here. We're just welcoming it to be embraced. And as you start to feel that, as you start to notice these different things arising in your consciousness, I want you to take a nice deep inhale and just embrace them with your breath. And then you're going to softly exhale out of your mouth. And with that exhale, there's like a relief and a release in the exhalation that you're going to utilize as this prayer. It's like a breath of prayer. It's a release of that, of whether it's a person or a situation or a fear in your own heart. The breath of prayer is releasing it into the arms of unconditional love, where it can be transmuted and transformed. It's like saying, please, love, help me to work with this energy. Help me to be relieved from this anxiety or this worry, or help my family find peace inside of their experience of uncertainty and money and all the things that we can't know right now. Love, help me to hold this. Help me to turn this into something beneficial and useful right now, because I don't know how, and I don't have to know how, because you can. Just breath of prayer. Each time you feel something or sense something, and really explore from your neck, your throat. Take a breath down into your chest. Take a breath down into your belly. Take a breath down into your pelvis. And you're inviting this energy, even if it's not, where you're at in this moment. You can acknowledge that there are people that are, understandably worried right now. Maybe they're really close to experiencing death, or they're really close to experiencing someone close to them dying. And there's a sense of, distress that, obviously maybe goes beyond the definition of worry. But even that, we can let the breath of prayer, let the exhalation be a surrender to not even anticipate what isn't happening, because we cannot know what the future will bring, but to breathe it into this moment and let the breath of prayer bring relief to all beings that are experiencing suffering and worry right now. You're a powerful healer in your own right. You don't have to think of yourself as a healer. Every human heart holds magnificence, and it holds the power to transform. In the yoga tradition, it's called Kundalini Shakti. It's the powered and the potential within us to turn darkness into light, to transform and transmute the heaviness and the worry and the fear into prayer. We'll take a few more breaths like that, and you're just doing it on your own whenever it comes. And if it's not coming, the breath can be this reminder of your aliveness with the inhale. And the let go with the exhale, knowing that it'll come back, knowing that there's no perfect way of dealing with these things other than to be here now with it. And to know that your energy and your effort makes a difference, that you make a difference in this. When we're lost in the thoughts of what happened yesterday, what's going to happen tomorrow, and we just can't grasp onto anything, and it creates this, ripple effect of just, sometimes can be torment. Releasing this energy out out of your body, out of your mind, into the arms of those unseen forces, the angels that support you, the ascended masters of your spiritual lineage, whatever you're connected to, nature, love itself. And free yourself from the confines and the constructs and the ideas and the beliefs just for this moment and these next few breaths. The breath of prayer. Prayer being the release of control. Prayer being the conscious effort of putting this all, everything in your heart, into the hands of something that can hold it and hold you. And let there be at least one more more dramatic exhalation. Good. And then you can let your body move a little bit forward and back or side to side. And when you feel ready, you can let your eyes gently open. So thank you so much for joining today. Just sending everyone this breath of prayer, and you can come back to it in any moment. It can just be one. It's good to do these deeper practices to, initiate us into what's underneath, and deepen these grooves. It's important to take the time to do that. And we obviously have some of it now. So hopefully, and if you're here, you're probably doing that. So good job, and you should feel really proud of yourself. And also know that this is something you can do anytime with one breath. I'm going to close with a prayer by Marianne Williamson. And it's a prayer around the heartbreak of our own fear of death. Marianne Williamson refers to something called A Course in Miracles a lot. And she says that in A Course of Miracles, it says that one day we'll realize that death is not a punishment, but a reward. And so she's, speaking to this essence of spirituality that gives us these teachings that impermanence is not something to just fear. And I say just fear because I think that that's a natural part of the process. Otherwise it wouldn't be like that. But that it is this great relief, just like those exhalations of prayer. It says in the Course of Miracles that we will one day evolve to the point where physical death will not cause anyone sorrow, for we will know in that reality there is no death. Meaning, what is at our core and what the essence of who we are is not something that can be taken away. If you have lost somebody you loved and you connect to the feelings of love that you have for them, that is our essence. And so that's something that can never be taken away. And the power that is that love, which is really, from my perspective, the only power there is love, is something that can't be taken away, even though our experience of the forms of them change. So I'm going to close with the prayer that Marianne Williamson wrote. Dear God, please take away my fear of death. The pain in my heart, I surrender to you. Please take away my suffering and the suffering of those I love. Open my eyes that I might see the light beyond the evil. Actually, sorry, it says the light beyond the veil. I guess the light beyond evil also works. Show me the truth of eternal life, that I might fear no more. Take care of those I leave behind. Bring comfort to them and comfort to me. Death has my heart so frightened right now. Please deliver me to peace. Amen. I wanted to share that prayer with you because so much of our worry, even when it's just low grade anxiety or anything that activates our sense of feelings of abandonment and feelings of overwhelm, is ultimately rooted in our fear of death. And so it's a really good thing to tune into and to allow yourself to have the courage to be in an empowered space around, as well as a fearful one, if that's your experience. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm so grateful to be here and to be alive in this moment and to be moving through all the natural things that are arising for myself and for everyone else, and to be a solid support and reminder of unconditional love during this time. So thank you so much.